And at that time, I still wasn't wearing hijab. But seeing his journey and seeing what he was doing to better his faith, he was already going on Jamaats all the time throughout the country. Like he had done a 40-day trip all the way from BC to Toronto and then came back again. And it was a group of South African brothers. And so just seeing like what he was doing, I was like, so like I'm born Muslim. This is kind of embarrassing that, you know, someone that's not born Muslim can recite better than me, or, you know what I mean? Like all these different things. So I went on my own faith journey. And at that time, you know, I started praying because I had never prayed before.
Consistently.
I mean, like I wasn't praying consistently. I was 17 when I met him.
Can't say that. I'm just kidding.
And then I was, when we got married, 18, my math is terrible. 21. I was 21.
But it's crazy. As Muslims, we make the decision to believe as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people think
100%.
that us Muslims,
it
is
was
a
a
time.
conscious.
Yeah, there is a time where we say, "Hey," even though our parents have given us the foundations, there's a time we say, "Hey, we believe."
Yeah, 100%. And I went through that, and that's when literally the day that I was graduating, when I was getting my degree and walking on stage, that's the day I put my hijab on.
Wow.
And I walked in and my classmates were like, who are you? Who is this girl? Like, and I was even like so nervous because my whole city, nobody wore hijab. There was plenty of Muslims, but no one in my entire city wore hijab. So I was the first. So I stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, 100%.
60, 70,000 people. Scary because it's a predominantly, you know, white city.
Can you share a story like of discomfort? Like
I was so uncomfortable. 100%.
Like the most uncomfortable time you've ever been in hijab.
I would say the first day when I put it on, I was very uncomfortable until I realized that nobody cared. Because
except for the
in my
racist
mind,
people
I'm
in
like,
the pickup truck at the grocery store.
in my mind, I'm like, everybody's gonna be curious and ask me questions, and people are going to be racist. And then I realized like nobody actually cares. It's literally just something on my head and it doesn't bother them. And that thought just disappeared after that. So alhamdulillah, I've been wearing it since.
What happened with the pickup?
Oh yeah.
Tell us about the pickup.
Was that before? There's been so many times I've been yelled at. There has been so many times. People have thrown cans and things like that. Like, take that thing off your head. Go back to your own country. Blah, blah, blah. It's
serious?
Yeah, for sure. Like
in Canada.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Disclaimer: never if I'm beside her.
Of course.
It's always when I was with my mom or by myself.
The most vulnerable people.
We've seen that.
Yeah, we call them weak human beings because they can only pick on a woman.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the reality.
So now you've come back from the Tablighis. They've given you the foundation.
Yeah.
And then what happened? I want to get married. What?
Actually, as it turns out, the brother that called the adhan that like shook me, he was like the imam in the next town, which is quite a bit bigger town. They had a masjid there, and he was the Tablighi Jamaat guy. Like he was the man.
Okay.
And he became like my mentor. And my foundation of Islam, you know, came from that. Very rigid, you know, which, alhamdulillah, is what I needed. And so we actually went to Pakistan together the whole trip with him and I.
Oh, went for the 4 months.
Yeah. And so he actually proposed before we left, and it was just like a hard no. Like,
yeah, he came, and he was a family friend too of my family.
He proposed
he proposed on like behalf of him,
kind of like
he
had
dad.
No wali.
That's right. He didn't exactly. So he kind of acted as
so
that.
he used the top gun.
Yeah,
I tried.
He still got knocked back, guys.
Yeah.
Still got knocked back.
So my dad was like, I think so, because he's like, I'm okay with it, because he had seen his journey right in the masjid, and like at that point.
So did he ask your permission? Dad say this is what's happening? Or
my dad was okay with it. But it was my mom that was a hard no. So my dad was not gonna
go against.
Exactly. So he's like, if she doesn't say yes, then my hands are kind of tied.
What was mom's
concerns?
Mom's concern is there has never been any marriage in my entire lineage ever outside of our culture, and that he was a new Muslim. And that he probably didn't know any better. He doesn't speak the language, doesn't eat the food,
doesn't know the culture.
He wants the visa,
and didn't want.
That was the other way around.
She understood that.
And she didn't want to.
I was talking about the Mecca visa, brother.
She didn't want to answer to her family like, how could you let someone marry a white boy? or a revert.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I have a cousin who is very rigid in the UK, who I do love. He's an amazing person, and my mom had reached out to him at one point and told him, about Will, and he was like all for it because he's like, reverts are great. Like when they become Muslim, they're solid. Like he pretty much said that. He's like, if he wants to get married to her, like he's not. Her fear, I think, was like he'll just marry and then just leave Islam. Like that's kind of the thought process I think she had.
100%.
She had that fear, like how would the kids be raised? How would all these different things.
How many in the family?
In terms of siblings?
Yeah.
I have
the youngest?
I'm the youngest. I have two sisters and a brother.
Yeah, the youngest.
And they were already married kids and all that.
Yeah, the youngest is the hardest to let go of.
Yeah.
I would have said no too, bro. Sorry.
but wait, there's more.
But wait.
He had to go do another 8 months.
So he comes back from the Jamaat. So now we're up for round 2. And so.
It was an even harder no.
It was
when we came back. So we had discussed along our, the 4 months in the journey that, when we go back, we'll give this another shot. And then if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And we move on.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, not okay, but whatever. And
did you do it because you wanted to get married to her?
Which?
Like, was that the aim? Was that like, I'm going to do this because I want to get married?
The 4 months?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry to interrupt. If you're enjoying this episode, make sure you subscribe and leave us a comment. Thank you.
It was so because I had spent probably 2 years, maybe like 3 days every month, like consistently. And then I spent the 40 days with the South African brothers. That was what changed my whole thing was that trip. Because I got to spend time with Sheikh Saeed, who was a Maliki scholar, 65 years old, like wisdom, like through the roof. Dr. Qasim, 65 years old, again, same thing. And then the rest of the Jamaat, one brother, the Emir of the Jamaat, was close to my age, and he had a wild upbringing, but mashallah, came back to the deen, and then the rest of the guys were younger, like Hufaz and stuff. And it just really showed me what I had seen, that unity of the brothers, right? And so from that point, that's because I was working on the oil rigs at that time, and I was clean shaven because I had to be. And then when I went with them, I was like, I'm done. Like Islam is my thing. It's exactly, and I'm all in. And then
I'm all in.
Following so that was in April, and then December we left for Bangladesh, and so we had talked about it the whole time. We'll go back and propose and see what happens. And then when we did, it was like an even harder. Like
it was like, don't ever ask me again.
Wow.
Yeah, don't ever ask me again.
And you had no contact with her like at that time?
No, I had no contact with nobody.
So
there was no discussions or anything like that. It's just
no. We worked together, so we had interactions. And
can I ask that journey of going overseas and doing? Did you ever have a moment and said, "What did I sign up for?" Like
every day,
because I'm thinking, man, like
you think you're signing up?
No, you're coming from like, we understand because we've had our stupid days, as they say. You're coming from that mentality, like, and this is like chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
I would just like to know, like,
in the beginning, the first few days was a real
culture shock,
right? Especially like when we landed in Bangladesh, and you know what it's like, man. Before we even land, seatbelts are off, things
luggage is coming down.
And then I walked through the plane. I was like, man, I didn't know because it's my first time on an airplane, but the plane was full of garbage, and I was like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
And then we got off the plane, and then if you've ever been to Dhaka in Bangladesh, that's what it looks like. It's just garbage everywhere, right?
Wow.
It's one of at least then it was the most overpopulated city, and there's millions of people, and it's very poor, and so it was a big shock, right?
Yeah.
And then the pollution was so bad. Like I literally grew up in the mountains in British Columbia. Like I don't even know what pollution was. Right? So like my throat's getting sore, and it was.
Did you get sick?
So sick.
You got the bacteria.
Yeah.
All the bacteria.
Yeah.
They're like,
it's actually.
What happens when
How
you
bad?
come from a sanitized society?
Yeah, exactly.
It was bad.
It was pretty bad. So when I was in Bangladesh, it's all connected about this whole thing. The reason we're here in Malaysia is because of being in Bangladesh, and I met a Malaysian brother who's the president of the Cricket Association of Malaysia. He played in the World Cup in '86, the Cricket World Cup, and that's the year I was born. Not to date him or anything. But, so we hit it off like nobody's business, because he's the only not Pakistani or Bengali, and I'm on the other side. So we were just like two peas in a pod.
Best friends.
Yeah, exactly. We had such an amazing time. So once we linked up, it was okay. Everything felt great.